The following is a paid program sponsored by Get Elevated. Please be advised that the voices and opinions you hear do not necessarily represent the views of KUNV Las Vegas, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, or the Board of Regents of the Nevada System of Higher Education.
Please note that while we will cover a multitude of topics, including many alleged health benefits, all information provided should be considered anecdotal and informational. Please consult with your physician before adding cannabis to your medical regimen. Cannabis is for adults 21 years of age and older. Also, paid sponsorships are not to be misconstrued as preferred or favored by the host. In any way, they are merely that, paid sponsorships. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Welcome to another episode of Get Elevated with Gia. I am returning for Vibin in Vegas with Derek Gumen, who the first episode I used the wrong name. I called you Guzman. But I love that about myself, to be honest.
Yeah,
and I think you should consider maybe changing it to Guzman.
You know, I think I might roll with it.
Yeah.
It works.
The Guzman.
The Guzman.
Well, welcome back, everyone, for listening to the show. Thank you. This is a show about cannabis. We talk about truth and clarity. My personal mission is global access, awareness, and education of this magical plant. Okay, so Derek, we're going to start this. You were talking about your favorite strains, and let's rehash that real quick, especially like for people listening. I always like for people to listen and go, oh, I like morning stuff. I'm going to try that. So just give us a quick little snapshot again of what you like when.
Yeah, so I really try to start my day with something upbeat, a sativa generally.
Give us some names.
Some super lemon haze, any kind of haze really.
Haze.
Ghost train haze.
You're the haze. You're the haze guy.
Big haze guy.
Okay.
And yeah, you know that's how I'd really start my day. Anything midday, something comparable. And toward the end of the day, I stick with something with OG or Kush.
Okay.
I really like purple, anything purple cough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just something more
okay.
laid back, some linalool in there to just relax the body.
Nice.
But yeah, how about you? What do you like to smoke?
Well, like you, I like the bowl, and I love collecting the glass. It's like the cheapest, coolest thing you could have is a collection. I never know how to clean them. I mostly just throw them out when they look yucky.
Same.
So I love that, and that's how I learned to smoke. And I don't consume in the morning. On the weekdays, I get too launched.
Yeah,
you know
too
what
kooky.
I mean? Yeah, and I don't want to even risk that. So I'm not opposed to it, but I don't. But Saturdays, I have come the weekends to really enjoy a nice sativa. I love L'Orange by Cannabis. But so on the weekends, if I'm going to smoke in the morning, I love Jack.
Mm-hmm. Jack Herrera, I didn't mention that one.
How do you like Jack? You're always going to get your house will be clean in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's very true.
But L'Orange, Jack, and then Durban Poison. I'm a big Durban Poison.
Landrace sativa.
Yes. And also, there's a flower by Shango called A-Dub. I think it's kind of a sleeper strain.
Yeah.
Like it's fire. Yeah. So, and I'm really now enjoying the curation of different types. I think that I was kind of stuck on the same. I use my Durban. I use this, and you're kind of like, there's a million strains out there. So I've been on this hunt to like really enjoy and like just smoke that for the night. So like nighttime though, I'll also smoke those sativas and I'll use it to paint. I do a lot of painting with any of those or anything haze. I do love that as well.
Do you know the strain Blood Drive by any chance?
I don't.
Do yourself a favor.
Okay, Blood Drive.
You can only buy it at Thrive.
Okay.
It's by Green and Gold Supply Company.
Theirs, got it.
It is a landrace Hawaiian strain.
Oh
that
my gosh!
During its vegetation,
what does the term landrace mean?
It means that it was. It's like an.
I feel like I should know that, but I don't.
It's an original strain. So, like, while Durban Poison, a lot of people have different seeds from that. Durban Poison was first cultivated in Durban, Australia, just like Kashmir Kush. Hindu Kush is found in the Hindu mountains in Afghanistan.
Yeah,
you have your Hawaiian, so to speak.
Sure.
So Blood Drive,
Drive.
Drive. Yeah, Blood Drive is
I want to get it now.
So when it's in veg, you can actually when you top the plant, which means to cut off the top to allow it to kind of stem in different directions, build out the branches.
A little bifurcation.
It bleeds red, sap, blood red. It's the only plant I've ever seen do that.
OMG.
I've got a really nice photo on my Instagram.
Okay. Nobody right now listening better beat me there.
And so the nose on it, because I can tell you like sativas, so it's a sativa.
I really do.
It's lower testing on the THC, usually between like 15 and 20%.
That means nothing to me. I'm so over that.
Yeah, no, you don't need it. Limonene, myrcene, I forget what else is in there.
There's got to be asamine.
The nose on it literally smells like raspberry strudel. I've never had anything like it, and the color of it's like maroon. The buds.
Let's spend more time on this. This is I love it because you have this experience, and I just know what I love.
Yeah.
You were saying something, and I was thinking about Pheno Exotic.
I just saw them this afternoon.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just had peanut butter souffle, and it was only like 20% THC. Because I'm not one that needs. Like, I look
30%
at the whole.
or
No,
yeah.
I mean that's good on occasion as well. But this Pheno Exotic, I was like, so I just smoked it to see what it felt like versus, sometimes you mix it or you're like, well, what's
I
left
mix
in
it
the.
a lot. Yeah.
But I wanted to just experience
Sure.
that. And I remember I was like sitting on my balcony. I was like, it's like a Friday night. And I was like, I noticed I was like, my head was like bopping in my music. And I was like, all of a sudden I put my headset on and I could feel the beats,
Yeah.
Derek. I was like,
that euphoria kicking in.
and then I was dancing. It must have been 3 hours of like just sauntering and dancing.
So you liked it.
I really did not. Yeah. No, but it's funny because like now that's my story. Like when I see that, so then I'll look at those terpenes and then kind of like make mental notes of like, how do I want to feel?
Yeah.
What do I want to happen here? You know, if I'm painting, I want to look for something that's going to give me that focus. And I stayed away from pining because I felt like those were the times I was getting off the rails a little bit. But now I know how to like pull it back in. I know.
Right.
Have you ever had that? You've had it.
Oh yeah.
So what do you do to get back when you're like, you feel it, you start spinning out a little bit?
Cold glass of water. You know,
Is it that simple?
I mean, for me, not that I have an immensely high tolerance, but like if I'm like really stoned, like really high, right? Like, I don't know. I just try to get some fresh air, just sit down, chill. I'm not one that's gonna go like take a bunch of CBD and like try to offset it. Like for me, I usually ride it out because I've already known what the desired effect I wanted for that moment is, and so like I
gotcha.
I like the racy stuff that gets me wired and wanting to clean the house or do whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Just be
setting
productive.
intention. You know, I still set an intention all the time when I smoke, no matter what it is.
Yeah, even if it's just laying on the couch watching a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other strains that I'm usually smoking on. I mentioned garlic cookies, garlic mints by Superiors.
The whole cookies family. I like not cookies the brand, but the Girl Scout cookies.
Mac, yeah.
Yeah, I find that those feel almost psychedelic to me.
Yeah, they're stony. They're stonier. The cookies tend to have like a really stony cerebral frontal lobe effect. So you feel it right here, and you're like, boom, and you get heavy in the eyes.
Yeah.
That's generally the Girl Scout cookies effect.
Why? Why is that, Derek?
Like
here's my question, because let's say I look at the terpene of like Girl Scout cookies, and sometimes most of the time it's like beta caryophyllene, submersine, like
limonene.
Right.
Those are usually the three for cookies.
So, yeah, but like those don't, if I read that, I would not think that that's the experience it creates, yet it does. So why is that?
Well, I think it's just, it goes back to like the original cut, which was, Girl Scout cookies was the original cut for all the cookie lines that you see on the market now. And so, as long as you're using, I think it stems from that, that plant has that effect. And the times in which it crosses over, and you're making all these new strains up, those traits, like in genetics with humans, they're going to carry on. They may be smaller amounts.
Yeah, that's why it feels psychedelic to me. I feel like for me, my crown chakra is opening.
Yeah, you can feel it right here all the time. And I always get very stoned. Like cookies is something I don't smoke in the morning because it gets me stoned rather than high.
And describe the difference, stoned versus high.
High is, you're upbeat, you're alert, happy, energized, stoned.
I've never heard people really distinguish them. That's why I asked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're inherently different effects, right? So
stoned is like
something stony. There's a strain called Face on Fire, which you may be familiar with
Floor, right? Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, they were doing it. Grower Circle used to do it for a while, or Viva La Buds now.
How would you describe those effects?
Again, just very stony and very like in the face stony. So you just feel almost like your face is kind of melting. They'll just make you, those cookies will just make you sit down in your chair and just smile and sit. And then you won't want to do much, right?
Okay.
Usually very relaxing, but definitely stony. Like you're foggy, like I mentioned before. You get a little foggy,
From the cookies.
Yeah. So I'll leave those for when I get out of work, type of thing.
I love
but
that.
Still in the daytime, because it doesn't knock you out necessarily. It's a hybrid always when you're smoking cookies.
Mm-hmm.
It's just whether it's going to be sativa or independent leaning.
And then there's a lot of cake stuff now. Tell me about the cakes.
It all comes from the same stuff. So that's cookies. Like
so the cake stuff comes from the Girl Scout cookies?
layer
really? So we're just in the bakery.
cream,
We're just in the bakery aisle.
Anything ice cream, that Sunday driver, all that stuff is generally coming from those GSC, the Girl Scout cookies.
Really?
Lineage, so to speak.
Gia will be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. Can, the world's first microdose THC beverage, is now available in dispensaries all over Nevada. Out of all drinks in 2019, cannabis or not, BevNet recognized Can as the best new beverage. It's only 30 to 35 calories per serving and comes in 3 delicious and award-winning flavors: lemon lavender, blood orange cardamom, and grapefruit rosemary. More information and where to buy your 6-pack of Can is available at our website, drinkcan.com. That's with 2 N's, drinkcan.com.
So for someone listening, if they were at a dispensary, aside from asking the bud tender, how would they know by strain name if it's a Stony?
If it's Stony, it's going to have higher myrcene.
Okay. Yeah, classic.
Yeah, some linalool maybe, and then
it's really about the myrcene. Beta-carotene can be high too.
It will be high generally. There'll be limonene in there sometimes, but
it's a KO.
It's more of that limonene will keep you awake, so to speak. That'll keep your energy up, but
you'll be awake.
Yes, you're still gonna feel it in the face.
Yeah.
So
one time I was doing a R&D. I had a bunch of grams that I picked up, and I was I don't remember anything about what it was, but I smoked it, and I was like, oh, I feel called to meditate. I'm going to lay down versus sit up because I was definitely heavy. My body got so heavy and I was laying on the ground flat. And I was like, but my mind was so busy.
Mm-hmm.
So it was such a contrast. My mind's like, we should get up and paint. My body's like, nah.
Yeah.
My mind was like, we should get up and this and this. So I really didn't like the experience because the whole time I couldn't shut this down enough to enjoy this. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it was like I had like that paralysis. I couldn't get up, but my mind was like, yo, let's get to the fridge.
Yeah.
I was like, but I can't. So it's fun. That's what R&D is for. And I love that. I love learning about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And, for me, like I've got gelato and do-si-do and a layer cake.
How would you describe those?
They all have a similar effect for me. That's like more to the cookies thing, right? Those are all from the cookies lineage somewhere along the lines, and they all tend to have the same effect on me when I smoke them.
Okay. And that would likely be everybody? I mean...
Yeah, no, really. I mean, everyone's built different.
Of course.
Some things will, get me super high, and other people not really. Or they'll, everyone's THC tolerance is different,
100%.
And mine has changed considerably in the past few years. So,
Okay.
I used to be a lightweight. And I used to not go out.
Hey, didn't we all?
Well, I used to not smoke when I went out.
Actually.
Like
okay.
I would not smoke a joint when I was out. Really, I wouldn't like
Me neither.
very comfortable situations with my close friends. But I used to be real goofy and like feel stupid.
Yeah.
Like when I was out with people I didn't really know,
Sure.
or I went out and I knew I'd be talking to, in my single days when I would be talking to women or
Yeah.
whatever it was. I was very self-conscious about it.
Of course, as you should be. You don't know what's going to fly out of your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know when I'm sober. I don't know what's going to fly out of my mouth.
Right,
so,
like let alone.
Yeah. So nowadays, my tolerance is much higher. I smoke whenever, wherever.
Okay.
And yeah, so there's been
I understand that journey though.
Yeah.
It was like I don't want to smoke. Like I'm always the one that messes up the rotation.
Right.
2 puffs. I'm like, I don't know. I have to drive.
Yeah.
And they're like,
yeah.
but like you just got here. I'm like, but I have to drive.
No, I just
and
get
I do
goofy.
feel very strongly about like impaired is impaired. So like, and I know myself, and quite frankly, I think, well, what's 2 puffs going to do? Like, if I'm going to do it, like move that thing around. Let's go.
Yeah.
But you got to have, you got to know your surroundings and know.
Yeah. For me, it's always just been like, I'm a talker, and people like to ask me a lot about, what I think on things, and whether it's cannabis or politics or the environment, whatever.
I see.
So when I'm really high, either I'm really good and on it, and because it's the right strain.
You are like pontificating some real stuff, talking straight out your butt.
Yeah, or not out my butt, but like not putting together sentences very well.
Okay, I don't know how is that different,
or
but yeah,
losing my train of thought, like in the middle of like
I lost
talking,
it right now.
Like, yeah.
Oh, that's fun. I am just now, I think, embracing more and more flower and understanding and that stuff I don't know. So thank you for sharing. Is there anything else regarding that you want to talk about? Because I know you grow, so that means you know all the details of the plant. And...
Yeah, I mean, nothing crazy. I think if
Can anybody grow at home? Is it that easy?
In Las Vegas? No, it's not that easy.
Okay,
you can. I mean, listen. Yes, it is that easy to grow weed. However, if you're going to try and do it in Vegas, you're going to try to do it outdoor. There are some steps you need to take.
Okay.
And, I only learned certain tricks that were able to, really enhance my flower and just like my stuff from not dying
Mm.
by talking to other people who did it here in
Okay.
Las Vegas. So like I mentioned in our last show, I've been to so many cultivations, spoken with
Okay.
so many great master growers and
Wow.
cultivators and teams.
Master grower. I'd like to be a master
Yeah,
grower.
right.
Just by title. I don't want
Right.
to.
Yeah.
I don't want to
There's
do
a
it.
lot of people out there who call themselves that.
I
And they're really
know.
not.
I know.
But I really have spoken to a few
Okay.
that I really regard, and you know, you always learn something new.
Yeah.
Like it's like being a chef. You know, you can
100%.
always you're never done learning. So for me, I was still not getting the results I desired, and so I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Mm.
So like, just a couple tips for those out there who in Las Vegas or anywhere in an arid area where there's not a lot of precipitation.
Where's arid?
Yeah, like, I think for one in Las Vegas, if you want to do this, you need to make sure that if you're going to be growing in the summertime, there's certain steps you need to take. You have to. This is more for the love of the plant.
Which I do.
I grow cilantro. I grow chili peppers. I grow basil.
See.
A bunch of herbs. Asparagus. I got all sorts of stuff.
my
I'm a little bit
goodness.
of a green thumb.
Yeah, you are.
You know,
Wow.
so the other stuff, but it's just TLC.
Yes.
For me, and so I'm on it every day. I'm
Mhm.
watering my plants almost right now. I'm doing it depending on the heat every other day.
Okay.
You don't want to overwater your
No,
plants because then
okay.
your root system will get completely just rotted.
Yeah.
But that said, as we move into 90s consistently every day and
Yeah.
100-degree weather and then 110-degree,
Yeah.
I'm watering a lot, a
Sure.
copious amount of water every single day,
Copious.
and you can use it from the tap. I've heard people, you should use RO water, blah, blah, blah. Now I've tried that. Year one, did all RO water, and I got okay results. So the next year I just used all tap water,
Yeah.
and results got a little bit better.
I mean, like this stuff used to come on now, like on some level.
Listen,
if you're not
there's
commoditizing it, making,
yeah, and if I
big
didn't
canopy
care.
in your backyard.
Yeah, and then, listen, there's dissolved metals in there too, so it's got a lot of the nitrates that it needs in the water anyway. So started doing that, and that helped. I also during the dead of the heat of summer, it's super important to put something on your topsoil that's going to insulate it from the sun.
Okay.
For two reasons.
Okay.
The first reason is you want to be able to make sure that moisture stays underground in the soil as
Sure.
long as possible. Because
Well, like stones you put on top? Stones?
So no, I don't do that because they heat up too
Oh.
hot. But I do use is like hay.
I'd probably start a fire if I
Like
had. Hey, Derek, I put some.
Yeah. So you can use hay or mulch.
Okay. Mulch.
So, but like a few inches of it because you want it thick. And so that for one, to keep the moisture in,
Okay.
but also to keep the roots from not being fried. Because if that dries out, the
Yeah.
sun it only takes
Game
a few
over.
hours. And there's
Wow.
been a few summers
You gotta be
where
committed to growing in Nevada.
you truly do. And
Yeah.
so I even had to go by because I was doing that, and my son was
You have a
my
son.
my plants were getting beat up by the sun
Okay.
still because they were still the
Oh.
leaves were getting hit, and I was noticing twisting in the
Okay.
fan leaves and.
Oh.
it's
Where
slowly
does one
popping.
get seeds to grow this at home?
So there's different ways you can get. You can order seeds from Canada or other places.
Okay.
You can get seeds through the medical patient program. So if
Okay.
you're a medical patient,
Oh,
you can
sure. Okay.
you can pop seeds yourself if you know what you're doing.
Okay.
Which I have done accidentally because my too much stress on the plant will cause the female plant to
Okay. Yeah.
hermaphrodite out
yeah.
and pop seeds. So I actually, one of my plants did last year. I collected all the seeds from it, and I'm going to try growing it next year. I
Wow.
forgot this year. I got a bunch of clones from a friend. So
Okay.
this year I started all from clones, and some of them were in pretty big size when I got them already, more than just
Okay.
clones.
Now for a quick word from our sponsors. From the chief lobbyist of Matos Consulting, Jay is spearheading a new bill for consumption lounges. Jay is passionate about alternative places to consume cannabis, so our city and the Strip can remain family-friendly.
So for people listening, tell us where they can find you again. We're not
Yeah.
done, but I just for the relative to if someone's
Sure.
interested and want to grow, you do a little consulting. On that.
Yeah. Instagram, Derek Las Vegas, DEREK Las Vegas.
Okay, so let's get back to our story. I think we've covered the strains.
Yeah.
And thank you for that.
Yeah,
I feel.
of course.
What am I getting? Blood orange Sunday driver? Blood driving?
Blood Drive. Yes.
Blood drive, like blood drive. Got
Blood
it.
drive.
Okay, so let's talk about brand development. That was also on your
Sure.
things that you feel passionate about relative to cannabis. Because a lot of brands come to Vegas and die, and then a lot of brands, depends on tell me about brand development.
It's not easy. I've seen brands come here to die. I have.
Yeah.
My old company partnered with a company from Seattle. Won't mention the brand, but we merged with them. They bought us out. We had a good thing going. But I don't think they were ready, and they had all these numbers and projections and all this.
You cannot do that here.
And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, we don't even have these products to sell yet. We're talking about projection, and the numbers were crazy. So, I looked at them, and I was like, guys, we need to. I don't know who you spoke with before.
Was this in your marketing role? Yeah.
This was when I was with VVG.
Got it.
But I wasn't a marketing role, but I wasn't the boss.
Okay.
And nobody consulted me on anything, and they should have.
Okay.
Because
got
that brand.
Because you were the real boss, apparently.
I knew more
Say it
about
in Italian. Say it in Italian.
I knew more about the market than most guys.
That's what
I
I'm
was
saying.
quite the boss.
There you go.
So I really did. I had my ear to the ground, and unfortunately my ownership did not. And so for me, I was like, I looked at these new guys coming in, and they had all these, and I'm like, who told you to do this?
They had the spreadsheets.
Yeah. And so we're doing this in Washington.
Well, if we just got 10% of the market.
We're doing this in California and Oregon. I'm like, this is not.
Yeah.
And so they came in 4 months later, they died. And they died almost as a company. I think they're still only operating in just Washington, but they were at that time putting themselves in all these places. So, for me, I think it's so important in brand development. You have to have a good story. You can't just come out here expecting, because of who you are in another state that you're going to win here the same way you won in whether it's 100%. Oklahoma, Michigan, Chicago, New York, whatever it is.
What's a good brand story? What's an example of a good brand story?
GLP's got a great brand story.
Okay.
It's a small company. At the time, it was the only organic no-till cannabis producer, and so it was small batch. Everything that they did was different.
Okay.
Like I mentioned before, they have bugs and fruit.
So they had all that. That was their story. Here's us. We're doing this special. We've got all these things.
And not only that,
that's what I thought you meant.
You got to have product that shows too, because if they didn't have good product, that story doesn't matter.
Correct. You have to have the good story, the good product, good pricing, good marketing. Put some dollars here. I got you.
This is especially in Las Vegas. We're talking about Las Vegas here. Your packaging has to be on point. Bright colors, strong messaging, strong branding, a really clean image on social media and your website. Everything matters. We're so trained to just why do you think so many companies like Coca-Cola and all these, they don't even have to advertise their product anymore. They just show you the Coke. You go to the movie theater and the Coca-Cola commercial comes on at the beginning, and all it is a macro shot view of the Coke being poured, and you just hear the noise.
Yeah, you want it
filling up and the ice popping. You just want it.
You just want it.
You just want
Gotta
it.
have it.
You might not even like Coca-Cola.
Actually, I want popcorn and pop right now. I think that's my move tonight.
So it's like that. It's like they got to a point where they don't even have to market themselves anymore. They just, the sound and the colors do it for them.
Okay.
And so if you can get to a point where that it's that easy.
I mean, isn't that of any branding? Like, you want to be the
look at
Kleenex,
cookies.
You want to be the Xerox, you want to be the...
Look at what Cookies is doing.
Yeah, I got you.
Berner did a crazy job on marketing himself, underground, all that. Cali, now he's got a store opening up here. He's got branding in Nevada with the branding's there, and it's got that like street vibe to it.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a good story.
Street vibe. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Derek, what else are you passionate about aside from cannabis? If there is anything, what are your passions?
Honestly, okay, I'll tell you. I'm a big fossil and rock geek. So
did not see that coming.
Yeah. So I was gonna be before I got into being really
a
good
Boy Scout.
Yeah. Well, before I got really good at being a sales guy, which I think just came natural. I wanted to be an archaeologist or a paleontologist.
Oh my gosh.
I've been on digs in Ireland.
Stop it.
Yeah. I've got fossils all over my house.
I'm here with Indiana Jones.
Yeah. That was my childhood hero.
Of course, I think it was mine too.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I actively, when I moved out west, was actively going out any free time, and I still do it. I don't do it as much because I'm a little older now, and I get tired hiking.
Do you ever go to the kids museums where they have the big sand exhibits and be like, "Get out of the way, kid!"
Yeah.
It's tossing kids aside, we're digging up some.
No, you know what I do? The adult version. I drive off road a couple hours away into an area that is named suspiciously like Fossil Ridge or Skeleton Canyon, or something or just knowing that the area is known for fossils. There's an area in Las Vegas.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a place called Tule Springs up north near Floydland Park.
Okay.
They have a swath of fossils in those It's like old limestone beds. You can go up there and you can walk around and really find them. Some guy, I was reading an article just yesterday, a guy found some huge bones in his backyard. He was having a pool installed, underground, in-ground pool. And before I even read the article, I'm like, I wonder if this is probably up near Tule Springs. Sure enough, it was literally on the edge of Tule Springs.
What type of bones?
They don't know yet. It was probably like a 50 million year old horse, something bigger, not a mastodon
50 million year old. Stop it.
Yeah. So some old stuff up there.
I think they're just guessing.
Yeah. Well, it's a roundabout, right?
Ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Derek, what a cool hobby, man.
I've got rock hammers and chisels, and I've got a gold detector for when I go gold hunting every once in a while.
You're that guy on the beach with the.
There's no beaches here, but I would be if
you know
I was.
What I'm saying.
If I was on the coast, it was still Long Island, New York. Yeah.
Wow.
But out here, no. I go to like where there's old mines and ghost towns and old abandoned areas that no one's there anymore. Like,
do you do this in a group yourself?
Me, my girlfriend Maggie, or I used to do it by myself.
Do I know Maggie?
You may have met her maybe once or twice. Nice. She's really talented as well. She works for the Sanctuary, does a lot of their social media and their marketing stuff.
Dr. Pedge Batty was on the show.
That's their,
Dude.
Pedge was on the show?
Yeah.
I love Pedge.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Pedge is the reason. I mean, there's other reasons Maggie got, but I met Pedge. I told him about my girl, and then
he's amazing.
My buddy told him about Maggie, and then they met, and then boom.
It's done. Yeah, he was here. The evolution of mankind was our topic. There's a small topic.
He's a really fun guy, and a really nice guy. So we every now and again we go out and do that thing. We just went out recently. We got stuck out in the Mojave recently on a gold digging hike.
That does not make me
45 minutes on a dirt road. I was stuck in sand. We had to push it out. It was a whole thing.
Were you nervous?
Very. Yes.
Oh my God.
We had no service. It was like
one time for my birthday last year, my son and I went hiking to Icebox Canyon.
Yeah.
Somebody said, "Yeah, just go there." It's not we hike a lot, so we were not inexperienced, but it was like an up and back.
Yeah.
Like up to some canyon.
Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah.
And
I know it up in Red Rock there. Yeah.
No. There's something tricky about this because it was like a complete barren quarry, so it was very
rock scramble,
strenuous, right? But it felt like a scramble, and my son took the lead because he's 20, and it felt like we were going. Like I'm like we should have been there, and you see people kind of coming back, so you're like, okay, cool. And I saw this couple of dudes on the side, they were doing whatever, and then we got to a place where like. Something ain't right. Like we've been hiking for 2 hours and then we saw these two guys again. I was like, why are we seeing you guys again? They're like, well, we stopped. We went back. Long story short, we didn't know where we were.
Yeah.
We didn't get the app because we were like, didn't you get the app? No, it was up and back like a mile and it was nothing. But for like a few minutes, we were super lost.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hello? And he's like, Mom, don't do that. Don't do that. And then he goes, hello? I was like, okay,
That's
you
so
do it.
Funny.
And then there was a couple people behind us and they had the app and they're like, no, we were, But I say all that to say that hikes can be extremely scary, and especially being stuck in the desert, that would freak me out.
Yeah.
Like, just your story means I'm not going there.
It was a little nerve-wracking,
No.
yeah. The next big one we have planned, we'll probably go in some smaller ones,
Yeah.
but the next big one we have planned is Havasupai Falls in Arizona.
Nice.
You can only get a permit once a year. They're very limited.
Oh, wow.
We've been there before. It's a 13-mile hike in, maybe a little less.
Okay.
About 12 miles in, you have to hike it in from the trailhead, and you have to
Do you
stay.
smoke when you hike? Is smoking involved in this?
Yes, but not a lot
Right.
because it's not on this one because I'm carrying a 35-pound bag. You have to go in and
Wow.
you have to spend the night, 3 nights, 3-night minimum, 4 days, and you have to pack for everything. And so me and her went in and with a few friends last year,
Wow.
2 years ago. It was closed last year, and so it was. I mean, the hike in wasn't too bad. You get to the campground, you set up, it's great. It was the hike out. It's basically in the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. Also not interested in this. No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, you can helicopter in, but
I'm out.
it's
I'm
worth
good.
a look.
I mean, I like a little risk, but
Yeah.
not really.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's a fascinating hobby.
Yeah. So
And
yeah,
passion
lots of outdoor
project.
stuff. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Are you and Maggie getting married? What do you think?
There's a possibility there. Yeah.
Dude, how long you been dating?
Like 3.
Yeah.
About
Okay,
3 years.
it's a wrap.
Yeah,
Let's
3
do
years.
it. Let's do it. Because you know what? She's in her childbearing years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, dude,
right, yeah.
Make it happen or free her.
I
Okay.
know.
I'm just
yeah,
saying.
But then if I make it happen and then with the kids and all that, then
It's about to happen, bro. You're
yeah,
35.
We're
It's
still
time
trying to
be.
go on vacations and stuff.
I'm just saying, let's just do the logical steps. You got to get married. You got to go through all that fanfare, and then you got to
I
couple
know.
of years.
I'm kicking
Are you
the
flipping me
can.
off? Did you flip me off?
Oh no, that was just an
He
itch.
scratched me with the middle finger. He's like, "Why are you bringing this up?"
No, not on live.
Nah, we're
air.
just playing.
Yeah.
We're just playing.
Yeah.
Good luck and congrats on your engagement.
Yeah.
And your engagement.
Yeah,
He said congrats on your engagement.
It's funny.
Okay, we're just teasing. Derek is not engaged.
Yeah.
But ladies, he is taken and he is a handsome. Sorry, I got nervous.
She's getting nervous over there. Hilarious.
Okay, final messages for part 2 of Vibin with Derek in Vegas.
Yeah, coronavirus is in the past. It's behind us. We've been through a tough year, and we're going back to full capacity in Las Vegas. We should still be safe, and take whatever precautions we can to be safe. But at the end of the day, I just hope everyone gets out there and just has a fun, awesome summer.
Yeah. Hashtag fun, awesome summer.
Yeah,
I
really.
love that.
I mean, that's really all I want to say. I'm just happy to be alive, and living in this city. It's been great, making great friends like you, and
thank you.
And it's been awesome.
Really great vibing with you, and thanks for bringing this topic so that hopefully people can learn how to grow, be inspired by the journey, and to jump in and about strains like. So what's cool is it didn't have an informational, educational flow, but it turned out to be so much information. So I always want people to learn and expand.
Glad I can help.
So thanks for getting elevated with Gia.
It was so much fun, Gia. Thank you again.
Love you, man. Much love. Yeah, dear friends, as I always like to say, thank you. And welcome to the future of cannabis. My name is Gia. I'll be your tour guide.
You have been listening to a paid program sponsored by Get Elevated. Please be advised that the voices and opinions you heard do not necessarily represent the views of KUNV Las Vegas, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, or the Board of Regents of the Nevada System of Higher Education.